Our story starts on November 2nd. On this day, I was simply really bored. I hadn't gone out rail fanning for quite a while, and I just wanted that train experience again. I had no idea what was coming, so the following trains were all very nice surprises. However, I bet you're wondering, well, look at that sun. It looks beautiful out. What's the problem? I thought this was supposed to be Railfans versus weather. Well, there was a little problem. Backlit high sun, which was absolutely ruining all of my shots until the sun went down, and by then it would be blue hour. So, yeah, I wasn't going to be getting any good shots on this day, but who cares? I have trains to see. And the first one was the first of a very long string of nice foreign power. It's CPKC 231, with a CP AC44 rebuild leading and a glorious KCS Ace trailing second. Love to see those. Shortly after 231 cleared, NS10R showed up. This train is the BNSF transfer manifest, so it always has BNSF power, and trailing second was a nice BNSF ace. But not just any BNSF ace, oh no! BNSF 9390, one of BNSF's extremely rare Thundercabs. Seeing these on BNSF trackage is rare, let alone on Norfolk Southern. And since they aren't tracked on heritage units or anything, since they're not in a special paint scheme, seeing them is very rare, so I'm super glad I had the fortune of seeing one. Definitely the highlight of the trip. After another short wait passed, more foreign power came our way. NS39E here had a Union Pacific GEVO trailing third. 39E is a Union Pacific transfer. It can sometimes have Norfolk Southern power or sometimes UP power. This is the first time I've seen it with a mix of both, which is quite interesting. However, the UP GEVO is definitely a highlight. Again, adding to the foreign power parade. At least, for now. And the foreign power parade ends with another mixed consist on NS34J. Just like 39E, this is a train that can either have BNSF or Norfolk Southern power, and this day it had a mix of both, with the BNSF thankfully leading. As soon as the tail end of 34J passed, two of my Railfan friends showed up. Of course, just in time to miss all the good power. Except not really, because there was one more unit of interest that was running, and it happened to be the leader on the next train, which was NS264. The unit looks like a normal C6M on first glance. However, the number is 4950, which was at the time the very newest C6M on Norfolk Southern's roster, had been released only a week prior to this. My friends and I both decided that we wanted to stay for at least one more good train, but unfortunately the Chicago line was not going to comply with that. The next train was NS-268 with junk power. With the sun now almost fully under the horizon, we realized the next train was going to be the last one. And we saw headlights of a westbound, and it was 257 with more junk. Yay! The next rail fanning trip on November 11th would continue the trend of the weather making me want to give up rail fanning forever and live in my basement. Because it was cold. Freezing. It was so cold. And the only reason I was out was snow shots, because it had just snowed, and knowing Indiana weather, this could very well be the only snow for the whole year, so I was determined to get some shots in it. My other railfan friend, PVT Panzer, who had joined me on the last trip, was also out for the same reason. However, the pictures you've been seeing this whole time are gondolas. Norfolk Southern recently parked a bunch of these maintenance gondolas at the depot. Why? Well, maintenance, obviously. Have you been listening? They're a mixture of older gondolas that have been repurposed for maintenance work and especially Norfolk Southern built maintenance gondolas, which is pretty cool. But what wasn't cool was the trains, because they took forever to show up. And by forever, I mean like 40 minutes. But as you can see, the lighting has changed significantly since then. Anyways, the first train, right before the sun went down, was Norfolk Southern 264 with, drumroll please, C6M junk. After that, we were quite shocked to see the signals in both directions change to green. I was planning on leaving after that first train, but this was something I wasn't going to pass up. So I headed to the crossing, and oh boy, I'm glad I did. Because not only was the lighting better, but these two trains were absolutely amazing. Starting off was NSB08 with a thoroughbred GP60 duo, oh yeah. Unfortunately, PVT Panzer had to leave, which I feel really bad for. Since these last two trips, he keeps getting scammed. It seems like whenever he's there, only C6M junk will run. And the eastbound was equally, if not even more awesome. It was CPKC 529, with a KCS GEVO leading and a CSX GEVO as the NDPU. Wow. I can't even remember the last time I saw a CSX on Norfolk Southern. And I'm totally not mad because this train had CSX 4720 on it and it got taken off in Wisconsin. Not at all. Why would you be upset about that? Why would I be upset about that? Why would I be upset about that? And there you go. 2 stories of Railfans versus weather, with the bonus of a bunch of foreign power. Hope you enjoyed this, and sorry this video came out so late. The 8101 scam video and the holiday train video took priority over this one, and I figured it would make sense to release it later in December anyway because the topic would be more relevant. Yeah, so you had to wait so long for this one, but you didn't know it was coming out, so I guess you didn't really wait too long. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to catch those units while you can, especially the ones that are actually on the train and don't get taken off in Wisconsin. And I will see you in the next video.